only after Lok Sabha passes it also. Because when the Rajya Sabha passed this, there are certain amendments that the Lok Sabha had not considered. So the correct question would be, if the Lok Sabha passes it, and if the bill becomes an act or gets incorporated in act, what will be? Let's assume that that has happened, and let me answer on that basis. In the last several years, in India, we were not able to either grant new mining leases or renew the mining leases after the 2014 judgments in Goa Foundation case and in the Common Cause case. Therefore, we presume that once this becomes an act or gets incorporated into act, both this difficulty will get removed. So therefore, whatever in some way I was trying to tell people that my mining car has been punctured, what is the first thing I must do? And the first thing you should do is to get the tire to be retreated or tire to be repaired, and this is what we are doing. So the mining car will start working. Thereafter, whether the mining car would have air conditioning, whether the mining car will have music, whether the seats needs to be changed, we'll talk about that later.
Fair point, Mr. Pujari. Sir, if the Lok Sabha, like you mentioned, gives its assent, then we're talking about states where mining was held up for various reasons, now looking to renew mining. So very clearly, are you confident that now investment and exploration production will get a boost in this particular sector?
See, essentially all the work on MMDR Act are done by the respective state governments. So therefore, the first issue to be addressed is that can we restart the mining and start new greenfield mining. I think the decisions which are not being taken, that will be taken now. The question you asked about whether the exploration will take place or not, we hope to do that, because for the first time there is a National Mineral Exploration Trust which will get some money. So once the NMET starts getting money from all the miners, whether existing or the new one, I think it will get a fillip.
So, and is the conversation between the centre, the government ministry, as well as the state now going to see a second wind of sorts? Because, like you said, mining will also fall down to the respective state governments. For example, states like Odisha, huge investment in steel sector. So, do you think that conversation with states will now get a second wind and you can see progress going ahead?
Okay, let me clarify one thing very first. Whether the amendment or pre-amendment, the power to grant a mining lease was always with the state government. The power to renew the mining lease was also with the state government, but only in respect to certain minerals like iron ore, manganese, etc. Before granting a lease, they had to take the view of this, take the prior concurrence of the government of India. Now that everything will be auctioned, they don't have to take concurrence. So in that sense, you can say we have empowered the states because we have surrendered certain power, which also becomes unnecessary, because when somebody is going for an auction, there is no question of prior approval.
Absolutely.
Next, what would happen to Orissa? Number one, if they auction some new mines, they'll get money. Even without auctioning new mines, from the existing mines, if they renew also whichever is working, they will get more money, because the District Mineral Foundation would get up to an amount equal to the royalty. Take the case of iron ore. Iron ore, the royalty now is 15%. So depending on what percent we agree on, the state government will get that additional amount even from the existing mines. So meaning thereby, whether auction takes place or not, in any case the state government will get more money to spend for the benefit of the people affected by mining.
Absolutely, sir. So, one more question for the benefit of our viewers. If you can indicate what kind of extension for the period or lifeline of the mine in terms of mining lease, and also if there are any provisions for the same in this particular act going ahead, will transfer of mining rights from one particular owner to another be facilitated as a result of the MMDR Act once it gets approval at the Lok Sabha?
Okay, let me take your two questions. The first question was, what will happen to the mining leases or renewal? Now, in this amendment, what we have brought in is that anybody who is a captive miner, he will get time at least till 31st March 2030. Second, if somebody is a non-captive miner, she will get time at least up to 31st March 2020. So therefore, the uncertainty in the minds of people will go. Whether state government would be able to do that or not, I think it will be able to do that, because it is almost automatic. Then, what was your second question?
My second question was transfer of mining rights.
Okay. Earlier also there was a transfer provision, but it was something where state governments or the miners were not able to implement. Now we say that anybody who has received the mining concession, on auction can transfer it very easily. Therefore, since transferability has been permitted and made easier, the expectation would be that money will flow in, because the investor who would like to come in, they know what will happen if they do not want to mine it, and they can easily give it to somebody else and without really much hassles.
Mr. Pujari, if I can take you back to the first point of auctioning of certain mineral resources. Now, for this particular process, is there a policy already in place? Will there be an amendment or a new policy that comes into place? Will it be the center or the state that actually facilitates this?
Okay. Auction shall be conducted by the state government. Now, let's compare this with coal. In case of coal, either because that was nationalized or Coal India was the major player, the auctions are being done by the government of India. In our case, we want the auctions to be done by the government, respective state government.
Sure.
Therefore, we not only need to have a set of rules for them, but also we have to have some sort of a template about the bid document, etc. We are working on that. Once we finish that, everything would be by the respective state government.
So is there any kind of timeline that the government has in order to kickstart this auction process or the dialogue for the auction process with the state governments at the moment?
Well, with the state government, we are in regular touch. In fact, only last week, the CCEC, which is Central Coordination Cum Empowered Committee, met under my chairmanship, and the state governments know about that. If you recall the Supreme Court judgment, the Karnataka government was asked to auction about 52 mines, so they have gone about that, and whatever background work they have done, they have shared this with state government. This is only to let the state government that this is what Karnataka government proposes to do if the Supreme Court and the CEC permits them. Therefore, on auction, we are working on that. The state government are aware of that,
Sure.
and as and when we finalize our draft rules, we will put that on the website for their views.
So before I let you go, one final question, of course, which is all crucial because it involves the industry. Now, whether you talk about Karnataka, Goa, Odisha, whether it was litigation or various other state government hurdles, there has been stalled investment, and industry players have been crying about this for a while. Now, in your dialogue with industry, do you get the sense that they are waiting in a way for the MMDR Act to actually be approved, and now you can see robust participation by both private and public sector in this space?
See, this is a slightly difficult question, because the people who want to invest, they want a guaranteed mine. What we are trying to tell them is that whether mine can be given to you guaranteed or not, that depends on your ability to bid. But what we are sure is that we can guarantee them supply of raw material. And in economics, if the raw material is available more, then the price will fall. I don't think anybody wants mine for the sake of getting a mine. It is only raw material security. So our aim is to increase the supply of raw material, in this case iron ore, and therefore I would think the investors will see that point very quickly. Their core competence is production, and they'll be able to do that.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Pujari, for speaking to us here at ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.